Maharashtra government delegation including cabinet ministers Radhakrishna Vikhe Patil, Shivendra Raje Bhosle, Jayakumar Gore and Manik Rao Kokate met Jarange Patil right there on the stage where he is carrying out his indefinite hunger strike. They briefed him on the discussions that were held by the committee on the Maratha reservation, and Minister Shivendra Raj Bhosle assured Manoj Jarange Patil that the Satara Gazette, which categorizes Marathas as Kunbis, will be implemented. Manoj Jarange Patil, however, demanded that the government pass this decision formally within a month and also extend recognition to the Hyderabad Gazette immediately. Jarange Patil told his supporters that he is giving the government 2 months' time to issue a government resolution declaring Marathas and Kunbis as one and the same. He further said that if the government issues the Gazette notification and the GR within 1 hour, we will suspend this agitation altogether. Listen in to Manoj Jarange Patil himself.
We are giving the government 2 months' time, issue a government resolution, GR, declaring that Marathas and Kunbis are one and the same. The government must issue GRs addressing all our demands. The government has said that the Hyderabad Gazette will be implemented today itself. Do you all accept this? Ministers have assured us that the government will also issue a GR to withdraw the criminal cases filed during the Maratha agitation. If the government issues the GR within 1 hour, we will suspend this agitation.
Now, on the request of senior lawyer Satish Manashinde, representing Maratha Quota activist Manoj Jarange Patil, the Bombay High Court adjourned the matter till tomorrow, citing compliance with the earlier orders. During the hearing, Attorney General Birendra Saraf said that the state had followed due procedure and submitted details of violations by the protesters. He urged that Jarange Patil's counsel give an undertaking to vacate Mumbai, stressing that the Ganeshotsav festival was underway and law and order had to be maintained. The court, however, pulled up the state, observing, and I quote here, "You should have come to us on the second day itself when the crowd swelled beyond 5,000. By allowing it to reach this stage, you too are in breach of our orders." I unquote. Now, Jarange Patil also assured that the High Court that most of his supporters had already left Mumbai or will be returning or leaving Mumbai soon. The High Court will resume the hearing tomorrow at 1 p.m. again. Police have reached the protest site to remove the protesters after the Bombay High Court's order. A little bit of a clash sort of a situation as the tensions were a little bit heated up. The court had ordered Maratha Quota protesters to vacate the Azad Maidan by 3 p.m. today, declaring the protest unauthorized. The court expressed strong concern over the disruption caused in the city. Ganeshotsav celebrations are also on, noting that Mumbai has been brought to a near standstill. It also rejected requests to shift the protest to the Brabourne or the Vacate stadiums, citing potential public inconvenience at that front as well. On the ground, Mumbai Police are clearing the key roads right outside the CSMT station, removing vehicles parked by the protesters. Earlier, Jarange Patil had asked his protesters to use public transport and not use their own vehicles and bring their own vehicles to Mumbai. These are being now shifted to Navi Mumbai to ease the traffic congestion. The Maharashtra government has also assured the court that it will act as per the law and has been directed to submit a report on the compliance to the court as well. The Maratha Quota stir. Is it a truce or is it a showdown? That's the big question. The government has assured Jarange of the formalization of the Gazette, the Hyderabad Gazette as well, and that GR be implemented within the next hour. Meanwhile, the Bombay High Court coming in through with their own intervention, pulling up the state as well for letting the crowds swell up beyond the number of 5,000. Ganeshotsav festivities that are already on in Mumbai. And Manoj Jarange Patil's growing Maratha Quota demand challenging the government. That particular committee is saying that it will implement the Gazette orders. Jarange Patil giving the government an ultimatum, a 1 month's time for implementation. Brijesh Pandey, News9's input editor, with us here on the broadcast. Brijesh, are we looking at a truce, or is this still, remnants of a showdown? Because Jarange Patil, he's given the government an ultimatum, but we've seen it time and again. It takes about 6-7 months, and Jarange Patil is back at his hunger strike again. So, is it just another push the issue under the carpet situation, or are we finally looking at truce?
Well, I don't think that this entire issue is going to be solved anytime soon. And you know what, the minister came and met Jarange Patil. But the fact of the matter is that, that he has given government an ultimatum till 9 p.m. today and said that if the government accepts and issues a GR as far as their demands are concerned, the implementation of Hyderabad Pact and also Satara Pact, then he is saying that he is willing to vacate the premises by 9 p.m. today, and also will leave vacate the entire premises and give government 2 months notice to figure out the modalities and announce it. But it'll be very, very interesting to see how this pans out, because it's like virtually putting a government on the notice, and it'll be very interesting to see how the government responds to it, because we don't know what the government has actually conveyed to Jarange Patil. Jarange Patil and his supporters are declaring it as their victory by saying that the government has bent. Well, it'll be very interesting to see whether anything concrete emerges out of it, or it is yet another face-saving gesture before Jarange Patil calls off his fast, and then, as you said, another 3-4 months before he's back in action. So it'll be very interesting to see, and the situation right now is very, very fluid, and it'll be interesting to see if the government does announces about the GR in the next couple of hours.
And if once we're talking about the ripple effect of this entire stir as well, Brijesh, the Ganesh Utsav festivities is actually on in Mumbai. We all know how big of a deal it is in Maharashtra. The entire, city and the metropolitan coming to a standstill. The Bombay High Court has intervened. It's pulled up the state as well. And when you look at those iconic shots from last time, when the former Chief Minister Eknath Shinde went to Manoj Jarange Patil with a glass of juice and to end his hunger strike. This time around, it seems like the government and the dispensation, it's Devendra Fadnavis at the helm of affairs, but the government has bent a little bit. Vacate Patil going onto the stage and presenting the draft proposal.
Well, I think, what is interesting is that last time, the equation was completely different, and this time the political equation is completely different. The fact is that, as you spoke about what the Bombay High Court has said about Jarange Patil and the fact that it is causing a lot of inconvenience to Mumbaikars, it also posed several tough questions to the government, that why did it allowed the situation to reach at this level? How did the police not stop these protesters from entering Mumbai and laying a virtual siege as far as Azad Maidan is concerned? So it's not like, as if only Jarange Patil and his supporters were in the dock. It was also Mumbai Police and Mumbai administration also in the dock as far as this protest at Azad Maidan is concerned. It'll be very interesting to see how next 3 to 4 hours pans out, because chances of the government to completely agree to the demands of Jarange Patil looks highly unlikely. So it'll be very interesting to see what is the middle path the government comes up, so that it can also serve as a face-saving measure for Jarange Patil as well. Kabir?
About reservation, and I know we're only scratching the tip of the iceberg in the surface here, because we still don't know whether Marathas and the Kunbis are going to be deemed one. The idea is that they be issued Kunbi certificates so that they can then avail the OBC quota. But is there any sort of information as to how big of a change will this be? I do understand that we wouldn't have demographic numbers right now, but if this were to happen, how big of a political change would it be for Maharashtra politics come next election?
Oh, it will have a serious consequences, because it is not only about giving them reservation. It will also upset the entire reservation cart, and that will be very, very challenging for the government, because then once you give it to them and buckle under pressure, then how do you maintain the 50% cap of the quota as set by the Supreme Court? And also the fact that there are various other factions who will also then want to have their share of the pie as far as the entire reservation government goes. So it's very it is the government has to do a very tightrope walk. Many believe that this is just a pressure tactics by the Maratha lobby. Many, if you remember last time when this issue was there, and you were talking about Eknath Shinde going there with a glass of juice. I mean, their political equation was completely different. Many believe it was propped up by Eknath Shinde. Many believe that it was Sharad Pawar who is propping up Jarange Patil to be as a force to countermeasure the government. But the fact of the matter is that this time the equation is completely different. The political landscape of Maharashtra has completely changed. BJP has an absolute majority, and there's not much pull and pressure which the Jarange Patil and others can give. And this is the reason why we have not heard a lot of Devendra Fadnavis, the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, as far as this particular protest is concerned. We saw Bhikkhu Patil going there, talking to Jarange Patil, trying to reason out the entire situation with him. So it's going to be very interesting next 4 to 5 hours as far as this particular protest is
celebration
concerned.
shots, Brijesh. Look at the celebration shots. The Maratha, activists, the entire crowd that had come in to support Manoj Jarange Patil. Celebrations across Mumbai. Of course, the Ganeshotsav festivities, but this is about the government resolution, the GR on those particular Gazette orders. Now, we still don't know how long will it take. Vacate Patil has given them assurance. It's a verbal assurance, and because of that verbal assurance, the celebrations are underway. But is it still too soon, Brijesh, to be celebrating right now? Because the government resolutions are still not out there. But Manoj Jarange Patil on the mic in that frail voice telling all his supporters that if we follow the government's proposal and we vacate the Azad Maidan area, if we vacate, start returning back to our homes, start leaving Mumbai, well then the government resolution, the GR, will in fact take place within an hour's time. Ghante ki mohalat mangi hai Vacate Patil ne. That's the essential breaking development right here.
Well, I think, if the government actually gives it and announces it in writing, it is indeed going to be a huge victory as far as Maratha agitation is concerned. And Jarange Patil will become a force to reckon with as far as Maharashtra politics is concerned. But as they say, there are many a slip between the cup and the lip. We'll have to wait and watch, how quickly this verbal assurance given by Vacate Patil converts into a very, into a written assurance by the government, by the Devendra Fadnavis government. It'll be very, very interesting to watch out. I think next couple of hours are going to be extremely fluid. Whether the celebration shots which are coming out from Azad Maidan remains celebratory, or there's another mood which will descend on there, we'll get to know in next couple of hours.
This could again become a problem for the administration, because so many people coming in a bit by bit would have been still easier than all of these people now suddenly collectively together leaving Mumbai. But on a day when two emotional speeches happened, Brijesh, one coming from the Prime Minister over him breaking the silence of the expletives that were hurled allegedly at his deceased mother, and the other one coming here from Manoj Jarange Patil, who just earlier in the day, speaking to his supporters, had said, even if I die, even if I pass away, make sure that there is no violence, make sure that we continue to protest in peace, in a very peaceful way. So a day of two emotional speeches, and it seems like already political dividends, or let's say socio-economic dividends for the Maratha supporters. And Manoj Jarange in some of these visuals, as you can see, Brijesh, Manoj Jarange also being, propped up high on people's shoulders. He's also taking part in those celebrations, throwing in a little bit of a shimmy himself.
Well, I think, yes, the mood there is jubilant. They have been protesting there for some time, and they feel that, what has been verbally assured to them by the minister is something which they will be able to get in writing in next couple of hours. And as I said, it'll be very, very interesting to see if the government does that. Then I think, it's going to be a night-long celebration as far as these protesters are concerned. Manoj Jarange Patil will become a hero as far as Maratha agitation is concerned. But it'll be very, very interesting to find out what exactly the government gives in writing, whether the government seeks more time, whether the government sets up a subcommittee further to go into what all it can do as far as, giving a quota within quota as far as a reservation to Marathas are concerned. So I think, the picture will be a lot more clearer in next couple of hours. But yes, it's a very jubilant crowd out there, very, very happy with the verbal assurance which has been provided by the concerned minister. Kabir?
And, just talking about again how this could turn into a little bit of an administration problem. So many people now leaving Mumbai collectively, even when the Ganeshotsav festivities are on. I mean, things can take a little bit of a violent turn. No need to spell, panic in the minds of the viewers here, but it is one aspect that the police has to now look at, because they're already stretched thin with the Ganeshotsav festivities.
Well, I think, the administration has a very tough task at hand because, there's one thing that the organizer of the protest can say that, it can ask its supporters not to resort to violence or something like that. But when you have that kind of crowd gathered in one particular place, the situation can go awry at any given point of time. And that is the reason why it makes the task of the police very, very difficult, how to handle them, cajole them, make sure that the situation never gets out of control, because one frayed temper, one momentary lapse of control can only take the situation downward. So the police would definitely have a very tough task at hand. The issue has already been, the High Court, Bombay High Court has given time till tomorrow morning to Jarange Patil to vacate the Azad Maidan. There's a hearing again in this particular case will resume tomorrow at 1 p.m. So there's time as far as administration is concerned. I think everything now boils down to the fact that whether these agitators are getting the assurance, the written assurance from the government or not. And I think that will be the time when we'll get to know for sure how quick it is going to escalate or de-escalate as far as this protest is concerned.
No, pertinent points that you made over here. Still too many sips between the cup and the lip. Like you pointed out yourself, Brijesh, there's going to be a hearing tomorrow as well. When another added portion in the Maharashtra political textbooks, but whether this will translate into a new political front coming across, and how does this affect demographics and the reservation basket that you yourself were talking about. Many thanks for joining us here on the broadcast.